Look at the size of these rocks. Oh, look, you already jumped in. Well, what I love is these bluffs up here.
All the rock here was taken from site.
This is the coolest with this wall-to-wall window. Absolutely. All right, Toowoomba. We are in Toowoomba and we are at a tree spade moving place that you built a water feature for 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, 21.
All right,
21.
let's check out another beautiful aquascape ecosystem.
See all these bottles?
Oh yeah.
So he relocates these.
Cool looking trees.
Yeah, Russell's really passionate about what he does and really passionate about his water feature as well, but what he does with precision and care. He's very good at what he does.
Yeah, those are cool looking trees. Absolutely. I guess that's Russell.
Russell, how you going?
Hello. That's not Russell, huh? Oh, here's the pond right here.
Yeah, that's one right there.
Awesome. Holy cow. Are you Russell?
I am, my friend.
Oh, okay, the pond guy.
Pond guy.
Good day, mate.
What an absolute pleasure to meet you. Good day, mate. Absolute pleasure to meet you.
Look at the size of these rocks.
500 ton, we reckon, that thing.
Dang.
At least 500 ton.
That was already here, he didn't.
It's an IQ test.
And it's beautiful too,
is,
with the
it is.
lichens on it and stuff.
Right around it. Looks like it was in the ocean at some point.
Look at the size of this rock. Hard to give the perspective.
This is Australian bush at its best, my friend.
Neat.
Petrified wood, millions of years old.
Yeah. Cool house too.
Yeah, mate. She fits in the environment. Won a few awards.
Yeah. And here it is.
The pond is the best thing.
So it's all year and a half, almost 2 years,
That's
huh?
about a year and a half, my friend. Yeah.
Yeah. You can literally walk from your front door right here.
Jump straight into this thing.
I think I might have to do that.
There you go. It's not too bad in there. It's fresh to start with, but it's not bad.
Do you have any native fish?
I've got 100 firetail gudgeons in there. But
Oh, you got some fish that you got delivered here, right?
The guy brought them this morning.
Oh, I walked right past him. I'm looking at the rock, and the pond guy missed the fish. Very neat.
We have.
Those little shrimps, huh? We're gonna be putting some native fish in today. So they'll get pretty big, huh, Patrick?
They do, they get a
Pacific blue eyes.
Yeah.
What are these ones?
silverfish.
Cool dog. All right, so we just released the new fish for in here. And what's the dog's name, Tanya? Ace? Oh, that makes sense because the business is Ace, right?
Yeah, Ace of Spades.
So Tanya, you helped build this, didn't you?
I did indeed.
Oh, look, you already jumped in. Hi, Ace, how you doing? So Russell, tell me, you built your own pond about 7-8 years ago?
Yeah, I did a pond in my first house, actually 20 years ago.
Okay, and so that kind of inspired you. And
I did always like ponds, but I mean, I had a dam here originally, and I thought, well, it's a hole in the ground now. I wonder what would be the best thing I could do with this circle here, and it was always going to be a pond, really.
Yep,
And just had to find the right people to do that, really, Greg.
Well, what I love is these bluffs up here that you have. So this is, 20 some acres, right?
28 acres and
28 acres. Look
28
at those
about
bluffs.
5 acres up on top there. You can take the gators up there and have a look around. We have a bit of wine and cheese afternoon up there on the rock.
Nice.
And enjoy it. Yeah, it looks nice, and look down to the pond, obviously.
So this is the existing pond. We got a wetland filter back there, and then you took your machines and you actually carved out there where you're thinking about putting in waterfalls.
I am.
A pondless waterfalls that makes it appear from the house like it's connected.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you look out the windows and walk out the front door, and you'll have this waterfall that goes to the pond, but it won't be. It'll be circulated separate. And we're going to got some big boulders to use, and I've got the rest of the rock that we didn't use here. We're going to use up in there. So we'll spend a week or so getting that happening and make the
Patrick, it's always the way it goes, right? You know, it's never a water feature's never done.
No, it's never done, and there's always another one generally.
Well, I'm addicted to it, and I've got a bit of gear, and Patrick can help me to do it. And you've got your great Aquascapes product that works. So it's
All of the above. We're all in the same boat.
was a hole in the ground actually when we came to see it. Now I was really like coming here initially and seeing these escarpments that tower sort of above this plateau, I suppose, just below it with the house here, and you can see these massive boulders, and that is a 500-ton boulder that has fallen off that escarpment, and Russell has been very sensitive to the rocks that are here and building the house amongst them, which is pretty cool. I was really impressed with what Russell had achieved here with his house design and his placement. And then to build a billabong here to make it feel like it was something which sat in this landscape was to try and get the effect of it. You can see these massive boulders at the back here as well behind that black boy. Get the feeling like rocks had fallen down and fallen into this body of water here, so it just felt like it sat properly in the landscape as well. Probably more about 10 by 13 size. We have a wetland on there which is about 20%. That's tucked in behind there. Again, very delicate waterfalls, nothing too over the top, just enough water there, just enough sound, so it just masks that road noise a little bit. All the rock here was taken from site, so Russell had been collecting it for a while. It is a sandstone, a hard sandstone, and it comes in, it's pretty weathered stuff, which I really liked as well. There's nothing too blocky about it. A little bit of machine marks, but you can see actually they would actually become eroded in later, and you probably get some ferns self-seeding in those and coming out. This one was a 2-week project. We had 3 guys. I love what Russell has added to this too with that overhang we built there. I love how this one has turned out. We did use some larger rock in the sides here. I think it was key that there wasn't too much small stone on the edges. There's enough for scale. You can see some areas of scale there. But these are quite large boulders. I mean, this one was still struggling with most of it's underwater. You can't see it all, but there was a 14-ton machine here, which we struggled to actually lay that one carefully. And again, these larger destination stones I'm standing on here, this is sort of the launching area into our deep area. We are at 1.9 meters deep there, so plenty of space and depth to hop into. It is quite a broad, deep area. There are not a lot of shallow areas in this. It really is a billabong at the edge of a bluff or an escarpment with a nice stream dropping into it. And again, we're going to be working with Russell now to actually create, because from that kitchen window in there, and again, that kitchen window there, when you look through, we'll pull that waterfall down that hill and it looks like it leads back and into this billabong here. This little detail here, which actually had nothing to do with any of us besides self-seeding, that little tree fern that's popping up out of the stone there. That's going to be beautiful in a few years. That'll come right up. That actually is a tree fern, that one. It's not just a fern. And then of course we have Russell's transplanting, so palms and the Queensland bottle trees. My Emporium coming over. These are little details which I really like in a water feature where the rock has started to be masked a little bit or hidden a little bit. It becomes more subtle. I think I've said it many times, but it's like rock, when you first finish a feature, it always is a little rocky. But as a designer, you leave spaces for the landscape plants to actually come in and soften things. So a little bit more to go on here. You can see the Lamandra over there starting to do its thing across those stones. A bit more time here and this will really seat nicely in the landscape. Well done, Russell. Really love what you've done with the landscaping around it. We have a skimmer set up on this one and a very small intake bay. There isn't a lot of floating material that comes in. There's a little bit that comes in, but not a hell of a lot. It's mostly a heavier stick. So in situations like this where there are gum trees, eucalyptus directly over a water feature, there will be a lot of fallen leaf and you will get a slightly tannin colour to that water. I like the tannin colour. It adds a little bit to the feature. It also gives it a bit more reflection, so you actually get more of a reflective pond as well. The water's still crystal clear, but you're getting less light through it, so also you'd have less algae issues or algae occurrences later on or during the growing period as well. If you're thinking with gum trees, it can be problematic, but you can see here these are directly over this water feature and it's actually pretty good shape. It would have been a little bit of stick, little branches and things in there, but nothing terrible. So pretty happy with how that's turned out as well. And there's some careful placement. A lot of it is deeper, so there's actually quite a lot of tall walls in there. It doesn't look massive massively deep, but it actually is. So when doing tall walls, you've got to be extra careful how you build, just making sure that everything's secure. Again, understated waterfalls are one of my favorite things to do because yes, you can get sound, you still get movement, you still get that little motor movement, the flicker in the landscape through your waterfalls. You've got less water loss on small ones, and it is more natural fitting it in a landscape. Something taller here would have looked way out of place. It would have sat above the surrounding ground. So this, you can see it sort of sits in a little valley or a little gully, I suppose, and that feels more natural than something piled up and high. How are we going?
Cool.
Loving
Why
it.
don't we show you what we're thinking about over here?
Let's do that.
Obviously, the number one thing is the view from inside the house with that incredible, all those windows have a backdrop of a waterfalls coming out of here. And one of the techniques that we talked about, and you've got to be
Hiding.
60-foot run here or something.
Yep.
In front of that tree where he's graded out. He's starting with a very narrow channel of water, just gushing, maybe 2 feet across, and then coming down maybe 3 feet, then 5 feet, and then maybe all the way at the bottom down here, having a big flat rock and then having it just trickle coming down, so like 8 feet, so it'll even appear farther away.
That's
so
true.
the bottom is a vast waterfall or a vast expansion of a boulder, and the top is just a gushing stream coming out. So the optical illusion, it'll be even look like it's even farther.
Give it a lot larger appearance,
Yeah, and then right here, we talked about this, is having it go a little bit below and then having those same kind of timbers that you're using to tie it in, that you said you have extra ones, right? And putting them in here and then keeping them a little bit loose so you have that ribbity sound. Yeah. And then you guys came up with a whole new idea about over here. This is exactly how it works. Phase 2 and then possibly phase 3 because of the driveway coming in here and this beautiful bottle tree right here having a waterfalls come down here. So it looks like it comes down from the mountain and then keeps coming down this way. Can you guys picture it? What do you think? How good is that? A boy and his dog. That's what an aquascape recreation pond is, right there. So fun. So Tanya, why don't you show us inside the house? This was actually designed and built by him, right?
Yes, it was. So it was all GPS'd around the rocks, and then Russell came in and excavated and had one of his best mates do the build.
Right, gorgeous. I love all the windows and the open space that it has. And then what's so cool, I think of all of the properties that I've ever showed, this is the coolest with this wall-to-wall window. And then looking out over, and you can see where the guys are walking. Right behind there, that's what we were just talking about, that they're looking. That is where the waterfall would actually go. So imagine seeing that waterfall from right in here, and then this pond in the foreground. That is as cool of a window as I have ever seen anywhere, and about that vista, just awesome. A vanishing edge pool, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, look at this, totally feng shui with that beautiful stone, and then this, gosh, look at that, and just looking into
And
the
we've got
forest.
these beautiful rock feet that grow out of the rock.
Oh, it is, that plant is right there with the root. That is really cool. It just keeps getting better and better. Wow. What an amazing place. Absolutely fun, not just to see for the vlogs, but to see, or the ponds, but to see how people are designing stuff. Look at that, right out the front door and right there. You can hear it. Yeah, I love the outdoor swing. They were calling this their breaching whale rocks because of the way they're coming out. I love the lichens on them. What a neat place that you've got here. So tell me about these bottle trees.
So these are my passion, what I do for a living.
Yes.
And, they grow in our southeast Queensland region, the Queensland bottle tree, Brachychiton rupestris. Beautiful plant, feature trees in the right spots. So we use the tree spade to dig a smaller bottle tree and it wraps around it and digs it with the spades. Or these ones we excavate out and get a big crane involved and we lift them and load them and transport them all around the country and stand them back up again in front of people's beautiful houses. They love them. They're an Australian icon, the Queensland bottle tree.
Beautiful.
Yeah, mate.
Russell,
Love
thanks a
your
lot.
style. Cheers, bro.
I Another day down under, some more cool Aussies, and of course, more cool recreation ponds. I'm gonna put a link right here to recreation ponds because if you aren't living the aquascape lifestyle, this is the ultimate. Like I always say, this is a Ferrari of a water feature, but fantastic to be able to swim with your dogs. The kids love it. Everybody loves recreation ponds. And for me to be able to inspire the world how to live the aquascape lifestyle, I think I have the best job in the world, which is why I always say, I love my job.